Hi, Algebra 1. We are going to be going over page 93 and 94. So problem number 1, they have on the number line, they have -4 here with an open dot, and they have 1 over here with an open dot as well. Because this is an intersection, this is going to be an AND problem. So we want to make the inequalities. So my interval notation for this is pretty simple. So my interval notation is going to go from -4 to 1. But I want to make the inequalities as well. So this is going to be x is greater than -4, oops, no equal sign, -4, and x is less than 1. Okay, because it's an AND problem, I want to put it back together. So I want to flip this over. So I get to that, and I want to put this together with it, so then I'm going to put less than 1. This is my inequality that goes with it. Problem number 2. Problem number 2, we have our number line, so we have a solid dot at 2, we have an open dot at 7, and we're shading in between. So again, this is an AND problem because we have overlap. So our interval notation is going to be square bracket 2 to parenthesis 7. This is x is greater than 2, or greater than or equal to, because it was a solid dot originally. This is going to be x is less than 7. We're going to flip the 1 on the left, and then I'm going to incorporate this into it as well. And that's my inequality that goes with it. It's because AND works. Problem number 3 is going to be an OR problem because we don't have any overlap. So we have 2 here, we have 5 here, and we have an open dot, and this is shading this way. This is going to -infinity. This is going to be a solid dot shading this way that goes to infinity because infinity is to the right. I can write my interval notation. There's going to be 2 of them because this is going to be an OR problem. Okay, so I'm going to get -infinity to 2, soft bracket on both. Then I have a hard bracket on the 5, and that goes to infinity. If I want to write my inequalities, I'm going to write x is less than 2. I'm going to put the word OR, and then I'm going to put x is greater than or equal to 5. That's my answer. Do not put these together for OR. AND is the only ones. Number 4. So it's -2 to 6. I have a solid dot here. I have an open dot here. I shade in between the 2. This is an AND problem because we are shading in between the 2. Okay, my interval notation is going to go from -2 to 6. Hard bracket on the -2, parenthesis on the 6. Then I'm going to say x is greater than or equal to -2 because it's a solid dot. X is less than 6. The one that's on the left, we're going to flip over, including the sign. And then I'm going to bring this down to be part of it. This is my equation. Number 5, we have -1 here, 4 over here. This is an open dot going this way. That goes to -infinity. We have a solid dot going this way. That's going to infinity. This is an OR problem. This is an OR problem. So let's go ahead and do our interval notation. So it's going to go from -infinity to -1, parentheses on both. And then I'm going to do a hard bracket on the 4, a square bracket, and it's going to go to infinity. Our equation will be x is less than -1. I'm going to put the word OR, and then I'm going to go x is greater than or equal to 4. Number 6, looking at that on page 93, we have a 0 here, and that's shading this way. That's to -infinity. We have a 2 here. That's an open dot shading this way. These were both open dot. I'm sorry, I meant to put that. That goes to infinity. My interval notation is going to go from -infinity to 0, parenthesis 2 to infinity. So that's going to take place, and then I'm going to put, and remember, this is an OR problem because it's going to, we don't have just overlap. So we're going to go x is less than 0 or x is greater than 2. And that's my answer. Again, don't put them together with an or. Number 7 in the book says a number t is less than 5 and greater than 7. So I'm going to go less than 5 and greater than 3. So t, there it is. Okay, and then graph the inequality. So that's going to be open dot 3, open dot 5. Shading. Shading between the two, and that's it. Do your best you can on the word problems, okay? Usually just look at the two numbers and make an equation. A number is less than -3 or greater than 1. Okay? Number is less than 3, greater than 1. So this is greater than 1. Make the sign also go that same way. So on a number line, we're going to go 3. We have 1. We have an open dot. We have an open dot. We shade in between the two. Those are both and problems. Number 9, a number is at least -2, or less than -6. So less than means this is going to go left. This one also goes left. We make our number line. We have a -2 here. Oops, I take it back. Is less than -6 and at least, so it has to be that. Yep, that'll work. So I have -2, or excuse me, I have a -6 here, and I have a -2 here. So this one is a little goofier, and I don't think we'll see this one on test, but I'm going to go a solid dot here and an open dot here, but this is going to shade all the way through. Okay, you won't see that one on test. Number 10. Remember, when these are put together like this automatically means it's an and problem. We're looking for overlap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the middle, and it's going to go with both. I'm going to create 2 problems. I'm going to flip this one over so I can solve it. Subtract 1 from both sides. Subtract 4 from both sides. I subtracted 4 from both sides, I get a -1. Subtract 4 from both sides here, I get a 6. And then write the solution in interval notation. So let's put it on a number line first. I have a -1 here, I have a 6 here. This is a solid dot, this is an open dot. We're shading in between the two. My interval notation will be parenthesis -1 to 6 square bracket. Number 11. X plus 5 is less than 0, or 2x is greater than 12. Okay, this is an or problem. So subtract 5 from both sides here. Divide 2 on both sides here. So I'm going to get -5 here. I'm going to get 6 here. So if I go less than -5, it goes this way. If I go greater than 6, it's going to go this way. So we have our infinities that we're going to use. This was an or problem, so this is fine. We're going to have 2 answers because we didn't have any overlap. And they're both soft brackets. And there's our answer. Go ahead and turn the page. Number 12. We have -4. X is greater than or equal to x minus 4x is greater than or equal to -12. Okay, this is an and problem because it's put all together. We don't see the word or. I'm going to break this into 2 problems. And then I'm going to flip this one over to get the x on the right side. Make sure you flip the sign. I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. Divide both sides by -4. Because I divide by a negative, my sign will flip over. Okay, then I'm going to subtract 8 on this one. So that's -20. Divide both sides by -4. Sign is going to flip over again. That's going to give me a 5. So I have 3. I have 5. I have a solid dot at the 3. It's going this way. I have a solid dot at the 5. It's going this way. I'm looking at the overlap because it was an and problem. So this is going to be square bracket 3 to 5, square bracket, because you had solid dots. Number 13, I have -1 plus x is greater than or equal to -1, or -6 plus x is less than -12. Again, it's an or problem, so let's solve it. So let's add 1 to both sides here, so I get 0. I'm going to add 6 to both sides here, so I get that. So let's take a look. I have a 0 here. Oh, let's make that a -6, and then a 0 over here. So I'm less than -6. I'm greater than or equal to 0. It's an or problem, so I need to have my infinities in there. So I have -infinity to -6, and then I have a square bracket at the 0 to infinity. There's our answer. Remember, you can ask me questions during this lesson if you need to. So just raise your hand. I'm happy to come over and help you out, okay? n-1 is greater than or equal to 4, or -5n is greater than 15. I'm going to go ahead and add 1 to both sides, and then I'm going to divide each side by -5. The sign's going to flip over to 15 over -5 is -3. So I have -3 here. I have 5 here. This is going to be going this way, and this is going to be solid dot going this way because it's or. We're going to our infinities. So our interval notation will be -infinity to -3, and then square bracket from 5 to infinity. 15. And 15 is greater than -5t. It's greater than or equal to -10. This is an and problem because it's put together. So break it in. This goes to with both parts. Make 2 problems out of it. Okay, flip this one over, including the sign. Divide both sides by -5. That's going to flip the sign over. Divide both sides by -5, and that's also going to flip that sign over. And so let's plot this. I have a -3 here. I have a 2 to the right of it. This is an open dot going this way. This is a solid dot because of the equal sign going this way. I want the overlap, so my interval notation is going to be parenthesis -3 because it's an open circle to 2 hard bracket. And that should be good for all of those problems. I will be giving you today the take-home test. You might be done with the video before I'm done with the class. If you get done with the video before the class, if you want to raise your hand, I will give you the take-home test. Remember, our test will be Tuesday next week. So on Monday, I will have the video up of the entire take-home test. You can use this take-home test on the test on Tuesday. So make sure you have it all filled out. Any notes you want to put on it, have it all filled out, and bring it back next time. Make sure, on Monday it'll be all filled out because we'll have the whole class to go through the whole take-home test. Okay, have a nice day. And the only homework tonight is to work on the take-home test. Just try it.